Alright, so here's a 7-round mock draft for the Buffalo Bills. But before we get into that, let's just talk about the state of the Bills roster. The Bills head into the 2023 draft with a deep team overall, but with a few weaknesses that won't be easily fixed through the draft. One area of concern is right tackle, where the team has Spencer Brown, a former third-rounder, who showed potential in his rookie season, but had a disappointing sophomore campaign. Most fans have called for his head, but it just doesn't seem likely, seeing as Brandon Beane gave him an endorsement. Another area of need is middle linebacker, but the draft doesn't offer many quality players to that position. Any prospects they target would likely need to be drafted higher than their value. The Bills have also made a lot of depth moves, signing veterans who are stopgaps and not ultimate long-term solutions. Interestingly, those same positions our players are targeting in pre-draft interviews, indicating they may be taking a best player available approach, and then cut those stopgap players. That is if they find someone more talented who can replace them. It's also important to point out that in previous years, the Bills have not really taken a best player available approach. Case in point, taking Kaiir Elam instead of Breece Hall last year. So I think going in, it's fair to expect they'll probably mix the two approaches. With that said, let's get right into it. Today we're using PFF's mock draft simulator. So if you think any player wouldn't be there, please direct that to PFF. I've outsourced the hate. Okay, so with their first pick in the first round, I think the Bills do not go with the best player available approach. Instead, they address a pressing need by selecting off-ball linebacker Jack Campbell. While it's definitely a steep price to pay for a positional need, Campbell's instincts and awareness make him an excellent fit for the Bills defense. And yeah, he may not have the same physical measurables like Tremaine Edmunds, but his impact on the defense could be even higher. Edmunds, for all his measurables, never really quite grew into the role of your standard middle linebacker, quarterback of the defense type. And there's reason to believe that Campbell could be that guy, considering his processing abilities. And also, he's hardly a slouch when it comes to the athletic side of things. NFL.com has him ranked number 1 in terms of athletic score for linebackers this year. And as the athletic reporter Joe Piscaglia points out, the RAS score of Luke Kuechly and Campbell are weirdly similar. Though, of course, expecting him to be anywhere near as good as Kuechly is wishful thinking, but I'm sure the Bills would settle for even a house poor man's Luke Kuechly. In the second round, I have the Bills adding another weapon for Josh Allen, and it's slot receiver Nathaniel Dell. The value here might not be the best considering how far Dell's been falling in mock drafts lately, but that's just because teams are not really happy with his athletic score mixed with his size. Nevertheless, the Bills are not going to be one of those teams. They're not worried about the overall 40 time, they're just worried about quickness. This is why when they weren't happy with Isaiah McKenzie, they exhumed Cole Beasley. They could have replaced him with Khalil Shakir, but they clearly value the smaller guy who can create separation off the snap, and Dell is exactly that kind of player, and that's why they won't risk him falling to the third. Alright, in the third round, I've got the Bills addressing safety. Considering the roster, it doesn't seem like the most pressing need, especially since they re-signed Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, but picking a guy like Jamme Robinson could be a really good down-the-line kind of move. For one, Hyde and Poyer are both aging and prone to injuries, and the team is lacking clear replacements. More specifically, his measurements compare very well with Micah Hyde, and like Hyde has the ability to play free safety while also helping out in the box. Picking Robinson here would definitely be a signal that the Bills are looking to the future when it comes to the safety position. In the fourth round, the Bills finally add some depth to their offensive line by selecting Juice Scruggs, a versatile center with the potential to play either guard position and even swing tackle, on a need be basis at least. I think Scruggs' ability to play multiple positions actually fits well with what the Bills like to do, and how they like to have movable pieces on the line. And who knows, it's not entirely unrealistic that he could possibly replace Mitch More. I know this might be a little late for some fans to see offensive linemen addressed by the Bills, but if they did manage to snag Scruggs in the fourth round, it would be a huge steal. In the fifth round, I have them taking Kobe Turner, defensive lineman. The interior of the defensive line isn't exactly a pressing need. However, this would be a good moment for them to use the best player available approach. Turner's PFF grades, both as a pass rusher and against the run, could make him an absolute steal at this point. And if you're into meaningless draft coincidences, the Bills did manage to draft a Pro Bowler at defensive tackle in Kyle Williams in the fifth round. Alright, with the Bills' last pick, which I know it's only the sixth round, but the Bills are without a 7th round pick this year. So with that last pick, I decided to have them swinging for the fences by taking Marte Mapu. Mapu played safety in college, but he's also listed as 6'3" and over 220 pounds. At that weight, he's unlikely to be able to play safety, but he could transition to weak side linebacker. The Bills are no stranger to this kind of transition. Matt Milano transitioned from safety to linebacker with great success. With Milano turning 29 in July, it makes sense for the Bills to take on a project like Mapu, who could potentially become the heir apparent. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you liked this mock draft. If you didn't, doesn't matter. Just make sure to say something in the comments below. For what it's worth, PFF gave me a B+. Not bragging. And if you could take a moment to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It definitely helps a lot getting more content out to you. Anyways, I need a nap. I just came back from New York City, so have a nice life. Had a little too much of Ahmad Gardner's sauce, and yeah.